Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. I want to start with this chart, big picture. It was about 6 weeks ago, maybe a little longer, that we settled above this descending 4 or 5 month channel top that is now at 96.52. At that time, the settlement above the 96.52 formation 6-7 weeks ago did set up 150.57 as our next long-term objective. At the time, we're mentioning 2 to 3, 3 to 5 months. It happened almost, well, it hasn't happened yet, but we've rallied to within reach of it. Within about, a small fraction of that time, within 3 to 5 weeks. Now, the question is whether we're going to test 150.57 over the next week or two. And I think just looking at the very same chart, you can say yes above 134.83. This is a descending slightly channel top based on these two spike lows, one that goes back to, I think this was August or September of last year. The other one was the April low. And, you can project it off of what is kind of a left shoulder, or was anyway, up into the violation of 134.83. But this is still a valid level. And what I like about the 134 handle right now, 134.83, is we also have a newly formed channel bottom on the daily chart at 134.43. Now, of course, preceding that, as you've been seeing all along, if you've been watching this day to day for the last week or so, is the 137.95 channel bottom. And this is still an important structure. This goes back some 2-3 weeks. We have sort of flip-flopped the strength of these two, though. I'm more comfortable with a settlement below 134.43 as a sell signal through the rest of the week and into next week down to 123.93. Closing below 137.95. Not only do we have, of course, the 134.43 more horizontal channel bottom, and horizontal line studies tend to work a little bit better than steep line studies, as 137.95 is. So not only 134.43, but we also have the 134.83 formation on the weekly chart. So this is a meaningful area that, if tested over the next week or two, and I certainly don't expect it today, but we could, by the end of next week, with a spike in volatility, we could see it this week based on some unforeseen news event or fundamental information. 134.43 able to contain selling through next week, and above which I still see the low 150s as a 1 to 3 week target. If we can close above 143.49, we should see the 150.57 channel top by the end of next week or sooner, where we could actually top out through July and fall away from here into later summer. If over the next few weeks we close above 150.57, that is your indication for 172.99 and climbing within about 2 to 3 months, where we could top out through the rest of the year, but not unless we close above 150.57. 150.57 remains a 2 to 3 week target above 134.83. Once we test 134.83, if we test 134.83, it would take a solid 2 to 3 weeks to rally back up into the lower 250s. And that is kind of like our big picture dynamic. We've got 137.95. We've got minor points here, but holding below 143.49 will allow 137.95. I don't know about today. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but it's certainly possible. If tested, 137.95 is a solid day trade support level. It is also, I think, a solid 3 to 5 day swing trade, because from here we can round back up to 143.49 and even up to 150.57 perhaps. Should you treat this as a range? It depends on your trading style. I hate to tell you to buy some at 137.95 and again at 134.43, and now you're fully loaded up. If that violates your normal trade execution style strategy, I don't like to disrupt any of that, especially if you've been honing it in for a long time and you feel very comfortable with it. So I never want my analysis to encourage you to violate your own risk management or trade execution policy. So I'd like you to work my analysis into your already existing policy. Market psychology and trade execution and risk management, they are the crux to good trading. Analysis is very useful especially I think for accurate analysis like we present to you every day. But if you can't combine it with a solid risk management approach and a sort of thoughtful trade execution strategy, then it's not really worth anything because that will be the end of you if you don't have good risk management. I think you already know this. So what else is there to say? I don't see anything that is significant here. I mean, we've got minor points, nothing that I can tell you is a solid downward pivot point that would anticipate 137.95. Each of these little minor points can snag intraday activity, especially in a quiet market like we find ourselves. Last thing I'm going to say, I've said it already, if we can close today above 143.49, I see that as a meaningful show of strength into later week. And by Friday, I would anticipate 150.57, where we can top out not only for the week itself, profits can be taken there if you've been long for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks following the buy signal, and we've had others on the way up. If you've been long for some time, 150.57 is an area to respect. You should take, in my opinion, some profits there because it is a formation that may well contain buying not only on a weekly basis, but possibly well into the third quarter. I think that pretty much rounds it out. But just want to mention that wickedstocks.com put out 3 stock picks last week, Tempest AI, Adobe Systems, and Dana Holdings. And you can see them all for free by going to wickedstocks.com and taking advantage of our 5-day free trial. They're still very relevant. We're always combing through stocks, and if we can see the buy signal eliciting a likely 20% return over the course of the following 3 to 5 weeks or 3 to 5 months, we present it. If we don't see that possibility, we don't. It's as simple as that. So all 3 have real winning potential following a buy signal that we highly specify. We also update you every week on the status of those trades, where you might move your stop loss, where is support, etc., etc., etc. You also get with it daily triple Q and daily SPY analysis and weekly Apple stock analysis. So check us out at wickedstocks.com. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with Wednesday's NVIDIA report. You have a great day.